me the bear. From the legendary stories of primitive Indians in the Northwest Territories, I am the fire. Or call me the phoenix, that magnificent creature who is reborn from the ashes of its own fire. Or call me Fuji, the ancient Japanese fire goddess. Or Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. Or Sol, the sun god that brings fire and heat. I am known by many names, and I exist through all the ages of man. I contain multitudes. I inherit the earth. I am a metaphor for life, and my spirit is the intoxicating heat that gives courage to the hunter-warrior. I exist in the campfires of all times, from the beginning of the human race until the last hunt. I provide warmth and protection for you, and heat for your food. The lure of campfires goes to the very essence of human life. We could trace the history of civilization from campfire stories. Much of our folklore and many of our heroes come from age-old storytelling around campfires. They are special spots of time that connect us to all of life, as if the embers from past fires kindle our present and burn brightly for our future. Perhaps it's the campfires and storytelling that brings the modern hunter to the wilds. No longer necessary for food, today's hunter seeks the challenge and excitement of the hunt. But more than that, it's a need to be a part of the timeless wilderness. It's a sense of mortality and immortality, a connection to the past and the future. And it's the precious camaraderie of family and friends, together and alone in nature, sitting around the fire and sharing stories of past hunts and making plans for future ones. It's not the deer's or the bear's mortality, for they return each season of the hunt. It's our own. The father goes hunting in the prime of his manhood and takes his son or daughter along, who is as eager as a young pup to earn adulthood. But the young hunter must learn to search hard, to be patient, to practice to understand the ways of the woods, and to respect all of nature. And all too soon, the father's footsteps falter. His eyes weaken, and the time comes when he can no longer join the camp. He can only tell his own and listen to the news stories. The young hunter repeats the process and passes the stories on to his children, and the campfires continue. I am talking about that process, the timeless ritual of hunters and their stories around campfires. I remember the stories told to me by Orion, the giant hunter of Greek mythology, and I've passed on his stories of great hunts to the generations. But there are so many stories of so many hunts. There's Ralph and his son Phil and Margaret sitting around getting ready for tomorrow's hunt. It's Phil's first hunt. The ritual continues.
getting late, kiddo. Time to hit the sack.
Come on, Margaret. Part of camp's staying up late and telling stories.
Okay, tell about that bear hunt last spring in Arizona. That's a good one.
Phil, I found this spot where there's bear sign everywhere. And we baited the area, set up our stands, and we waited for 3 days. And we waited and waited and waited.
It's not just the hunt or even the kill that brings us to campfires. It's a mythical call to be a part of nature with all its wonder and beauty. In some mysterious way, the hunter and the hunted become one. It's a powerful experience when you know you're part of the eternal wilderness.
Phil, hand me that accessory bag, will you? I think it's over by the tent.
Sure, Dad. I had some more of that coffee. Boy, this fire sure does feel good.
Excited about your first hunt tomorrow? One of us ought to get that big buck.
Sure hope I get him.
You might. You don't always, though. 2 years ago in Wisconsin, I missed a giant buck. I kept hunting for a place for 2 days to get a good shot at that buck. And that wise old son of a gun kept on outsmarting me.
A sudden gust of wind alerts the doe. The raised white flag of the doe as she slips back into the woods signals today's chance at the buck is gone. After yesterday's experience with the unpredictable wind, Ralph uses a tarsal gland to improve his chances. The sport of bow hunting is exploding in North America as more and more men and women learn the skill and thrill, indeed the challenge of hunting with a bow. Bow hunting for the elusive whitetail is one of the ultimate challenges. To meet this challenge, more and more hunters are learning the skill of using scents and lures. Like the importance of scouting the area, They are part of the preparation the good hunter follows. While they may have helped Ralph bag his big bucks, skilled hunters are always well prepared. They scout the hunting areas thoroughly. They read game signs. They practice so they can make a clean kill. They follow the hunting laws. They respect the land and nature. They practice safety and know how to survive in the woods. And they understand and appreciate the privilege of hunting.
You and Jerry went back last year to look for that big buck. You both got lucky.
Lucky? Jerry and I worked that ridge hard, and it paid off, too. He shot a nice buck, but I got a monster.
Not only is the sport of bow hunting growing in popularity, but the improvements in equipment with state-of-the-art bows, arrows, tree stands, calls, camouflage clothing, and many other items enhance your skill. They have dramatically changed this sport from the days when primitive man or Native American Indians hunted for food, clothing, and shelter. Or has it? In many ways, the more things change, the more things also stay the same. Certainly the homemade bows of old have vastly improved with modern technology and sophisticated compounds. But our early bow hunters understood the importance of camouflage, of good equipment, of patience and practice and survival. Their lives depended on it. Our well-equipped modern hunter appreciates the heritage of our ancestral hunter and carries on this heritage by using his equipment with respect and skill. The successful hunt continues the tradition. The moon, the stars, the aroma of wood burning, the smoke, the crack of the fire, the camaraderie, the food and drink, the jokes and laughter, and the stories and the quiet peacefulness of it all. They combine to create that special feeling of unity and harmony, a sense that life is indeed good. Every hunter who has ever sat around a campfire knows that feeling. It's a gift. It's my gift. I am the fire, and from my embers, the stories are passed on.
Time to go to bed. We got a big day ahead of us tomorrow. We was out scouting today and we saw plenty of deer sign and plenty of hog sign too. You might bring home the bacon tomorrow.
That's right. Last time we were out here deer hunting, we got hogs, and they were good eating.
I want the big buck. Y'all can have the big hogs. Hey, I got a joke. What kind of pig lives on your finger?
Okay, I give.
A warthog. And I have one.
If you get a shot at one tomorrow, take it. It takes a lot of skill to make a good clean kill on a hog with a bow. I'm serious. You get one, we'll have a pig roast.
As long as we have barbecued ribs.
This was Margaret's first hunt. She was hoping to bag a buck. With Ralph and Jerry, she had carefully scouted for deer signs in Louisiana. And she had worked hard practicing from her tree stand with her new bow. They had seen plenty of hogs in the area, and Margaret was determined to make her first hunt a success. And she does, with this excellent shot. Not to be outdone, Jerry bags his hog the next day. This experienced hunter makes a dramatic spine shot that kills this large animal instantly. That night, there are plenty of good stories around the campfire. And then it was Ralph's turn. On the third day of his hunt, he shoots a Russian boar. The drama of being in the wilderness, waiting for the animal to appear, and patiently waiting until you can get a good shot is a rare experience. Nature is alive around you. You see or hear the deer. Your heart beats faster and faster. You fight the excitement and try to stay calm. You're sure the animal can hear your heart. Time seems to have stood still. It's now the moment of truth. The arrow flies true. All your practice and patience pays off. All your training and skill come together, and it all reaches a climax in that one moment. And then, it's time to tell your story around me.
Remember when you were out in Colorado and that big muley came up and laid down about 30 yards from your tree stand? You couldn't get a shot off.
I remember, I waited and waited to get a shot at that buck, and he just laid there. Finally, another buck came in and started eating aspen leaves about 10 yards. Time to go to bed, that's enough. We'll be here for 2 more nights and there'll be more fires and more stories.
It's my turn to get that big buck. Believe me, if I do, you'll hear my story 100 times.
Good night, Phil.
Good night, Dad.
Night, Margaret.
Night.
Let's get a good night's sleep and I'll cook breakfast in the morning.
As the fire burns down into a soft, low glow, only to be rekindled again and again, we leave our hunters with memories of past hunts and dreams of future ones. Someplace out there are other campfires and other stories. You've told your own, probably many times, and you've heard others tell theirs. And in the process, the call of the campfires brings you back to the wilderness, where your spirit and my spirit mingle with the slowly rising smoke. It's a ritual repeated throughout time. And as long as there are hunters, there will be campfires. And as long as there are campfires, there will be stories. Perhaps it is the stories that make us human, the need to create our own legends. For in these legacies, we share those special moments when we touch nature, and it touches us. And we know we are part of the larger universe.